Alright then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself.
Man, it actually hurts looking at those pictures of the people that died, you know? Dang. Sayaka, I still miss you, even though you betrayed us.
We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume.
Don't pictures generally have like a time on when you created a picture? Because I'm really interested in that. If she's like actually telling the truth, that she created a picture at around 7?
As it turns out, it was Robo Justice.
This is generally like a date and time stamp on, not necessarily on the picture, but at least on the part of the camera where you can sort of see what time it was created. Or when you plug it into your PC, you know, generally the name of the picture has something to do with the date and the time at which the picture was taken. It's hard for us to check it now, of course, but I'm just kind of interested if it's possible for us to find that out.
It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong? I saw a shadow. Something moving around at the top of the stairs. Okay. This is probably the direction that the game wants us to take, and it might just be a trap, you know, it might just be one of the twists and turns that they're leading us towards to mindfuck us at the end. But the way that I feel right now, and it might be, as I said, the false direction that they're trying to lead us towards, is that Celeste had something to do with this. Because she's the only one that saw the shadow. She might be the one planning to, you know, she's the one that I feel like I'm not sure if she was the person in every single occasion, but definitely in this occasion and some maybe a second occasion as well. But she's always the person that sort of saw the thing. So like, yeah, I saw that there, let's run after that. I saw him downstairs, let's go downstairs. She's the one that's been leading us up and down most of the time, right? So I find that a little peculiar.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the 2nd floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
See? Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, that strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared. See? Celeste was the only one that saw the shadow or person or Robo Justice, whatever she claimed to have seen. She's the only one that says she saw it, right? Nobody else did.
and then...
Yeah! That was Hifumi? Huh. What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been... But that's the thing. Like, yeah, she is leading us up and down, but then she has to be working with someone else because she has an alibi. She has been with us. So I find this really strange because, you know, cooperating with someone really doesn't have a benefit to you yourself. So I don't freaking know. I don't know. The thing is that you could do, if you work together with someone, is make someone, you know, is quote unquote work together, pretend to work together, make someone do all the dirty work by killing, and then, you know, you just say like at the very end, oh yeah, I worked together with him, he's the one that killed it. But then you put yourself in danger as well by saying you worked together, meaning you plotted to kill someone, but then, you know, you didn't kill yourself, so you don't get punished. But people will still think badly of you and suspect you in the future because, you know, you work together with someone to try and kill someone. I could see it as a valid strategy to try and dwindle down the numbers, because effectively you get rid of one more person, right? With pretty high chance of getting it right, because you know yourself, okay, that person killed Hifumi just now, so it could be that, but it seems rather strange. But it is a possibility to, and a possible reason to perhaps work with someone, right? Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead.
Dead.
And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
One thing we shouldn't forget about is the fact that someone is a supposedly spy from Monokuma, right? Could also be Celeste. Just throwing that out there, not sure.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
See, again, Celeste. Celeste is definitely the person that has been leading us away from things to make the disappearances and the murders happen. So she is definitely very, very suspicious in all of this. Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated.
Yep.
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation.
Okay.
And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them, no matter what. Monokuma File 3.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi. Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
That was never confirmed in the Monokuma
So
file.
it's
It was really
obvious Taka
vague.
came
It didn't
after.
say the numbering. So I wouldn't be so sure. the justice hammers were numbered, but were they really used in that order?
So,
Like
regarding
normally
Taka's death,
the Monokuma file is really
I wonder
detailed,
if
but
he
this one in
died
particular
before
wasn't.
Or perhaps it was. We already know Taka came last
What makes you say that?
because of the numbering of the justice hammers.
Not what? Come on, Makoto, don't stare at me. What?
Shoot!
That's not the Is it the first one then?
so,
I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in.
It's not that one. What the?
Shoot!
so, regarding Taka's death,
I wonder
There are only
or perhaps
two,
it was. We
right?
already know Taka came last
What makes you say?
because of the number.
It's true that while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Okay. I think I know what I need to
So,
do here.
regarding Taka's death,
I wonder if he, or perhaps it was
We need
after.
to-
We already know what order they were killed. Taka came last.
What? How do we do that?
What makes you say that?
Oh, I need to press help. Ah, here. Truth bullet flashback. If you target a weak spot and then hold on the left mouse button, you can use the weak spot as a temporary truth bullet later in the argument. These flashback bullets will disappear as soon. I think that's what it's supposed to.
Because of the number.
It's true that while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came.
so,
think we gotta
regarding
do
I
this.
wonder if he died.
or perhaps it was after,
We already
Know what order they were killed in.
So let me get the order.
Taka came last
What makes you say?
because of the number.
Numbering of the justice hammers.
It's
No,
true
God
that
damn it.
Hifumi was killed while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came. So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already
Know what order they were killed in.
Taka came last
What makes you say that?
because of the numbering of the.
Bam.
No, that's wrong.
I was really confused at the moment as to what I needed to do.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
That's what they want us to think, right?
If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi?
The watch.
Okay then, let's see the proof.
The watch. Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. There's something that relates to what time he must have died. We got this in the bag. Right, Hangman's Gambits. Wristwatch. Wristwatch. Right. Where's the I? Give me the I. There it is. S. There's the S. Wrong S. What the fuck? How many S's? It's wristwatch, right? What? How can it not be the S? Do you have to press the red ones? I'm guessing. Only the red ones, apparently. Alright, give me a W. Oh, you can double click it. C. Give me a C. Come on, show me a C. There it is. H. I want an H. Give me the H. Bam.
Now I understand. I've got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
it must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
Hey, you! How long were you gonna keep us waiting? Yeah. Taka's irritated voice pierced the air. I think we went through this twice already. So this is one to confirm that it was 10 o'clock the meeting before, you know? When we were meeting about Alter Ego missing. And his watch was working then because he actually looked at his watch like it's 10 o'clock now. So it's definitely working.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
So Celeste says. She says it was 7. There was no proof for it other than her word. So, I don't know.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Yeah, because you just think like, okay, number 1 was the smallest, number 4 was the biggest, so you just automatically assume that it just goes in that order. Not just the number, but the size as well. Because those are 2 things that are connected with each other. Like 1 is the smallest, you think, smallest number, 4 is the bigger number, bigger hammer. So those are just 2 correlations where you just go like, okay, that has to fit together. It probably automatically goes in that order.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Are we? Huh? Yeah, okay. Came from downstairs. Must have been Hifumi. Let's go. Run, run, run.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
I don't think he was dead.
True. We're all in the clear.
I don't think he was dead at that point. I find it so surprising. Not just the fact both his glasses were cleaned, meaning he had to clean his glasses to start walking around again, right? That just makes the most sense. And nobody's able to carry Hifumi except himself by pretending he's dead. Okay, I see what happened. Hifumi was definitely not dead. I'm almost sure about that. Hifumi was not dead. He just pretended to be dead. But look, that is like really strange. It was either planned that way or it was just real pure coincidence that both the bodies were found at sort of the same time, right? Because Hifumi can pretend to be dead all that he wants to be, but if he actually isn't dead and 3 people still find him pretending to be dead, I'm pretty sure, even if all 3 of us think he's dead, I'm pretty sure the announcement won't play because Monokuma knows that Hifumi isn't dead, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to be playing a false announcement. So that has to be like such a big coincidence or extremely well planned that we both found both bodies at the same exact time. But I think Hifumi planned this because Hifumi is the only way, like, sure, there was a way for Taka to be transported, right, the dolly, but Hifumi is a complete mystery. So besides the fact that nobody who doesn't have an alibi is able to carry Hifumi, Hifumi is the only one that can carry himself, and he woke up? Like he came back from the quote-unquote dead? Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. So I think Hifumi actually pretended to be dead. That has to be the case. Because he wiped his glasses off. Because he I think he used the blood packets that was in the nurse's office to like pull her over and like, oh shit, I'm dying, I'm dead. You know? And he accidentally got some in his glasses. But to move around, he needs to see. So he wiped off his glasses, the blood off of his glasses, and then ran around, pretending not to be dead anymore. Or you know, you think like, oh, people aren't downstairs anymore, I can do my thing and move around.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
It's almost adorable at this point that Hiro tries to like, you know, yeah, I got something, but the moment he always says something, he's just like, yeah, no, that's not right at all, Hiro. But nice, good job for trying, A for effort, but yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct?
I was trying to figure out if someone works with Hifumi together, because I feel like everything is planned out so perfectly, right? That it almost feels impossible for a one-man job. But I was thinking, like, because Celeste has been making us run around all the time, that Hifumi and Celeste were working together. But in this case, Hina was the one that was feeling sick, and she was the one that went to the bathroom, and Celeste came along with her. For alibi sake, of course, for the sake of alibi, for having an alibi, like, yeah, see, I'm with Hina, and then Hifumi can disappear. But yeah, it would be more suspicious, I think, if Celeste was one of, I'm feeling sick, Hina, can you come with me? And that's Celeste's way of luring Hina away so that Hifumi can run off and pretend that he has disappeared.
And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Hifumi?
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Does someone have pepper? I want the old Toko back.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then.
No, because it wasn't Genocide Jill.
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
I really love how Celeste pronounces some of those words. Kyoko, Makoto.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how.
Like, she is really good at this, too good. She knows exactly where to look, even if she doesn't know the answer to a question. She knows the exact steps, or at least, she knows to ask the right questions to put us in the direction of getting to the right answer. Which is very important as well, because if you don't have clues, or you feel like you have clues but you don't have the proper information to attach to the clues, you need to start a conversation to get that or drag that information out of someone to tie things together and hopefully come up with an answer. And she is always really, really good at that. Like in chapter 2, she actually baited the answer out of Mondo, right? So dang, Kyoko, she got skills for sure.
In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said,
we could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. So then, the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time. It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it.
How did Hifumi pull this all off, man? I mean, it makes sense, right? He dubbed the costume Robo Justice, and I just think the two primary suspects right now are definitely Hifumi and Celeste, but they didn't do it alone. That's still my gut feeling. They did not do it alone.
But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
Alright, tell me, Kyoko, what do you know that we don't know?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
Bam! Nice, Kyoko. Hifumi was not dead.
The dead body moved on its own?
No!
I got
Not
the
another
biggest smile on my face.
Ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
Yep.
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Or was he?
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
But I feel like we're coming to this idea very early already, making me think that there's going to be another turn, which turns out makes it be the fact that it's not Hifumi that is the one that killed the Taka. So I don't know. Like I'm glad that I sort of came to that revelation and the idea of my own, right? But it seems that we've come, because these cases generally take really long. I don't know how long I've been playing right now, because I always do it in one sitting. But damn, I just feel like it comes to it way early for it to be the finishing and the conclusion of this entire case trial and the entire chapter. The idea that Hifumi was still alive. Is it really possible? Yes it is. Oh yes it is. Broken wristwatch.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that
She's
how?
so quick to say that. Jump to
Surely
that
you heard the
conclusion.
body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
I'm sure the body discovery announcement was only made once. But Hifumi and Taka's bodies were discovered at almost exactly the same time. Oh fuck.
Are you
The
saying
vocal
that when
whispers
we
doesn't-
first found Hifumi and that there's a chance he was actually...
No,
It is in Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body.
Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that
Is why the announcement.
Are we real? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
I have a feeling we need to soak up one of those.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he...
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body. Hifumi's dead, and that is.
Are we real? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Do we need to soak up this one?
Are you saying that when we first
The
found
second one.
Hifumi and then there's a chance he...
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body. Hifumi's
dead body had been
No!
There we go.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Like, I knew the answer, but you just had to, like, do the right combination of which actual phrase contradicts which I did the other way around first. I did the second and then the third, but you had to do the third, and that was a contradiction towards the second.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if two bodies had been found, there really should have been two announcements.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
Monokuma's, I don't think when it comes to something like that, he wouldn't get lazy.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Yep, what do you gotta say, huh, you cheeky little monkey?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail.
That means because it's important towards getting the answer.
But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
It's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time. Let's see. Toko, Sakura, and Byakuya, yep, 3 people. Celeste, Hina, Makoto, yep, 3 people.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
I feel like there was an answer in there too, but I can't quite think of what it was.
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means
Hifumi's supposedly dead body was... Wait, what?
even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again.
Yeah.
If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Yeah, later. I remember that. The second body discovery announcement. The first time it played, it was when we found each body in the nurse's office and the equipment room. And the second time was when just after Hifumi came back alive. This one. So he was pretending to be dead first, and then the second time in the other room, he actually did die. So there's 2 murders here. Murderers, I think.
I got it!
Oh, it was this one.
We heard it
me.
a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Huh. What? Oh. We heard it the second time we were in the repository when we rediscovered the 2 bodies. But that means Taka's body was already found before, which was what we assumed was the first announcement for, right? And then... Wait, what? Okay. So let's go by this train of thought. The first discovery announcement was for Taka because Byakuya, Sakura, and Toko found him to be dead. We then assumed that Hifumi wasn't dead when he was in the nurse's office. He was just pretending to be dead. But the message played both at this. It was played at the same time, so we all thought that yeah, okay, Makoto, Makoto, Celeste, and Hina. We found Hifumi that was dead, and we thought that announcement was for Hifumi. Same as Byakuya and the others, they thought the announcement they heard was about Taka. So, but then it played again when we rediscovered the 2 bodies in the repository, meaning that particular announcement wasn't for Taka, but for Hifumi being actually dead rather than pretending to be dead the first time in the nurse's office. So in the repository, Hifumi turned out to be dead but really came back alive? Because I thought he was pretending to be dead as well in the repository. But then why would he then suddenly die? Because nobody really wounded him after that. Okay, so yeah, that's what I thought. Like, he was pretending to be dead in the repository as well, which is why I got the first one wrong. But that makes sense, yeah. But the fact that he really came back alive is such a huge mystery then. Holy shit. What? Ding dong dong dong. The body is discovered after a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like. The class trial will begin. Yep.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Meaning...
Then in reality...
one of them wasn't dead. Don't know which one, and then the second one was. When we found them again.
When the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet.
Seems that way.
Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
The glasses thing?
Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
Oh, that's definitely him cleaning off his
This
glasses.
whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone.